Welcome to the first monthly installment of Risk.net's cutting-edge videos. Today I'll be covering Wujiang Lu's contention that parametric modeling of haircuts has many advantages over historical VaR. With the derivatives industry moving towards greater use of collateralization thanks to mandatory clearing as well as compulsory margining for non-clear derivatives, deciding what level of haircut to apply to an asset lodged as collateral is an increasingly critical question. Haircuts, or the discount applied to the value of a collateral asset for calculating margin or regulatory capital, are usually determined using historical price data to calculate a VaR loss for a given confidence level, typically 99%. The trouble with this method is that it relies heavily on the availability of data, meaning the determination of the haircut becomes more art than science for assets where liquid data is not available. Historical VaR's reliance on past data makes it an inherently backward-looking measure. When market conditions change, haircuts can change significantly, as became evident during the financial crisis. In this month's first technical, Haircutting Non-Cash-Collateral, Wujiang Lu, a director in global fixed income trading at HSBC in New York, proposes an alternative model to fix these problems by using parameters to calculate the haircuts. Lu proposes a parametric model, or one that uses explanatory factors to determine the value of the asset instead of a purely data-driven approach. The technique seeks to model asset prices based on a jump diffusion model and introduces a credit risk measure to reflect the impact of credit ratings on haircuts. The model is then calibrated to the benchmark originally used to model the asset's haircut under the historical approach, such as the S&P 500 for equities, for instance. One key difference is that illiquid assets will have very different haircuts in reality versus the index used to calibrate the model. So to reflect the specific characteristics of the collateral asset, adjustments can be applied to calculate parameters in the form of sensitivities. Credit rating characteristics can be further incorporated by tweaking the jump size of the asset value and the probability of the jump. Both the Basel Capital Framework and the margin rules for non-clear derivatives allows haircuts to be calculated using either a standardized approach or internal estimates. The regulatory approaches in existence and internal models used to banks mainly rely on data-driven estimation of haircuts, applying more intuitive considerations on individual assets where necessary. Things are beginning to change, though. A handful of dealers are understood to have begun using parametric models when the collateral asset is illiquid or otherwise lacks reliable data, according to two people familiar with the matter. Perhaps one of the biggest advantages of parametric models is that they have more explanatory power, as they are based on factors that explain behavior. Given the importance of collateralization in today's regulatory environment, it makes sense for both dealers and regulators to pay more attention to the age-old problem of insufficient data for haircut modeling. The use of parametric models helps in not only fixing the data problem, but also translating intuitive considerations such as credit quality changes in the exposure or expectation of higher volatility into a model that can quantify those considerations. For more information, visit Risk.net and see you again for the next installment of Cutting Edge videos.